Travis Scott just flamed his ex-girlfriend and baby mama Kylie Jenner for using the weight loss drug Ozempic.
She doing OZEMPIC, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman.
Kylie Jenner is once again responding to the internet speculation, this time that she used weight loss drugs. And not only is she denying it, but she's pulling the empathy card. And people are just over it, you guys. As if she's not the one constantly perpetuating unattainable beauty standards with all her Photoshop and surgery lies throughout her entire career. In a new September cover story for British Vogue, Kylie asked her fans for empathy amid the body shaming she felt after her 2 pregnancies. Now, before we get into what Kylie had to say, tons online have come to the conclusion that celebrities like Kylie specifically are paying money out of their own pockets to get to the cover of some high-end magazines, like Vogue. Being like, let's be real, there's nothing Kylie has going on for her right now that warrants her getting an interview and cover on British Vogue, and it seems like the only time she is really trending on social media or on Twitter, for example, is when she's getting scrutinized for being disingenuous about her unrealistic beauty standards. I mean, we all remember that clip of her going viral not too long ago of her crying. This TikToker summed it up perfectly.
We owe Kylie Jenner an apology. We all misunderstood her. She's on the cover of British Vogue and it says it here. I think that I am misunderstood. So I was like, you know what? Maybe she's right. Maybe there is more than just lip kits. So I read the whole interview. It's very long, but it's actually written well enough to keep you wanting to read more in hope of finding something that you didn't know before. Kylie Cosmetics, haters are bad, Timothée Chalamet, it's hard growing up on social media, hundreds of millions of followers, 400 million followers, billions of followers. Here it is. Okay, what is it that makes us all wrong about her? She used to dance with boas before she was famous. This is not a joke, this is literally the reason why Kylie thinks she is misunderstood, is that now she is quiet, but before she used to be silly. I mean, I don't want to discredit her experience. She might have had a hard life and I'm no one to judge. But why is she again on the cover of Vogue when Charli XCX just had the album of the decade? Even Kamala Harris is talking about it. Is she talking about Kylie? Like what? Barack Obama put the album on his playlist of the summer. Like, I don't want to be rude, but what has Kylie contributed to this year?
More recently, Kylie has been accused of using Ozempic for weight loss, namely after this lyric that Travis Scott sang, where fans theorized he was definitely shading her. The lyrics Travis sang said, "She doing Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. That ish look iffy, need her thick, needed her to move something, like it proved something. Just don't you remove nothing." But a couple of months ago, the rumors of her being on Ozempic only intensified when tons of videos of her out and about in public would go viral where she's looking like this. And at one point, one of Kylie's longtime friends, Uris Palmer, shared a video on TikTok of her and Kylie dancing to a song, and the comments were shocked with how noticeably thin and skinny Kylie had gotten all of a sudden. And this only made people upset with Kylie even more, saying how this just adds on top of all the unrealistic beauty standards she has set without just being open and honest about it all throughout her life. Yes, this has been her brand since a young age, and this is pretty much how she made millions and millions of dollars, but people don't think it's morally and ethically right, especially when she has influenced tons and tons of young teenage girls that quite frankly shouldn't have been exposed to these type of quote-unquote beauty standards. Someone commented, "Ozempic working overtime," to which Riz responded defending Kylie, "Actually, my friend is back to her pre-baby weight and looks amazing." And under the replies, you had people saying, "The way the Kardashians will randomly just pop up with a completely different body type and pretend they didn't just shapeshift is so wild to me. Pre-baby weight as in when she was 15 maybe." She didn't deny that Kylie is using Ozempic though. She looks way skinnier than she was pre-baby. How is she back to her pre-baby weight when she's skinnier now than she was before the baby? Make it make sense. So back to the interview. In an interview with British Vogue, the Kylie herself expressed her frustration with any narrative that she uses drugs such as Ozempic that is often used for weight loss to shed some pounds. And she pretty much just says the same thing her friend was defending her for. She said, "I finally lost all the baby weight after my daughter and then got pregnant with my son 2 months later. And I felt in shape and it was working out. And then I got pregnant and did it all over again. I feel like people didn't give me or give women in general enough empathy. I see pictures and people are accusing me of being on drugs something. Then the interviewer asks her, "You mean they mistakenly think you were taking Ozempic or some such?" Kylie replies, "Yeah." She's annoyed by it, pointing out people forget she's just a 20-something post-kids. "I'm back at my weight I was before I had my daughter and son, and people are putting side-by-sides of me 3 months postpartum. I'm like, does everyone forget that I had 2 children and I gained 60 pounds both pregnancies?" Kylie then noted that she is finally feeling like herself again. This comes after her 27th birthday, which was just a couple of days ago on August 10th, but then she further elaborated on how it was like growing up on social media. "The world puts a lot of pressure on a teenager, me, to make the right decisions, and I just have to be gentle with myself because although I carried so much responsibility in the moment, I was trying my best as a human. I have to realize it's okay, Kylie." She still sounds shocked by it all. Truthfully, looking back, I'm like, God, I was 17, 18. The Vogue article also says, "I do think I misunderstood," she continues. By Kylie and Chris's account, pre-camera Kylie was an all-singing, all-dancing fireball of jazz hands and feather boas, found belting out numbers atop the family pool table, her de facto stage of choice. "Always the loudest and silliest in the room, but times change. Now when I walk in a room, I'm trying to be quiet. I'm always just," she trails off, "watching. Yeah. It's like the whole mom thing, really," she goes on. "Remind me how old you were when you had your first. I was 19 when I got pregnant, 20 when I had her. It was wild. Looking back at it, I give myself more empathy and grace. But when I was a teenager, even my family were like, you aren't that young. I think maybe I carried myself a certain way, or I'd already been working for 10 years. It didn't hit me straight away, but it was a huge life change." She continues, "No matter what I'm going through or what I look like or what the internet writes about me that day, I come home and my kids just love me unconditionally. They're just obsessed with me, and that's taught me to walk through life a little easier. I'm like, okay, well, I have these little humans at home that need me and love me and think I'm the most perfect person in the world, so I don't really need validation from outside sources. Amen." And after all of this, thousands of people on Instagram agreed that they don't have empathy for someone like Kylie, and quite frankly, never will. I think people would empathize with her and her sisters more if they hadn't set such an unhealthy beauty standard for a number of years. And by unhealthy, I don't mean that they got work done. I mean the fact that they lied about it for so long and had an audience primarily filled with impressionable teenage girls aspiring to something that wasn't attainable naturally like they claimed. It may not have been Ozempic, but she definitely had a tuck here and a lipo there. I don't feel any empathy towards a woman whose entire brand pushed little girls into eating disorders, body dysmorphia, mental health issues, etc. So this was Kylie's recent statements, you guys, and how many people have been reacting to them. I definitely want to know what you think about all of this in the comments down below, what you think about her denying Ozempic, and just her overall recent reactions when it comes to all the backlash she's been getting for her looks, and people saying that she is not being 100% truthful. Let me know in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and as always, I'll see y'all in the next video.